What's up? This is Trot Wam from Odds.com. This is an NBA breakdown coverage video for Wednesday, the 17th of February, 2021. In the link below, you hit this link, you get straight to our full breakdown, all the leans, all the picks, all the insight that we have for this show. We did pick out 3 games, and this is one of them. Make sure you hit the link below to get the full breakdown. It's going to be the Denver Nuggets going on the road off of a back to back today to the Washington Wizards, who are showing there that they're favorite by 3.5 points. So FanDuel is laying a 3.5 for the Denver Nuggets on the road against the Washington Wizards. This is an interesting game. This is a very interesting game. Now, the total is what I'm really interested in. The total is what I'm interested in, and I'll go through a little bit further on why. But this line was very interesting, and I want to bring up where I'm leaning in as far as the side perspective here. And I'm thinking of going towards this Denver Nuggets team, and there's a reason why. So going into this game, we have the Denver Nuggets just losing today. So they just lost to the Boston Celtics 112-99. In that game, once we said before on this show that the Nuggets are pretty much Jokic or bust. Today wasn't that case. Jokic balled out heavily. 43 points on 69% field goal percentage, along with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. I mean, he couldn't really have a better game than that, in my opinion. It was no one to be found though for this Boston Celtics team. I mean, I'm sorry, for this Denver Nuggets team up against this Boston Celtics team. The Denver Nuggets didn't have anyone else outside of Jokic that really played a great game. I mean, you could say Murray played an okay game. He did have 25 points, 9 for 16 from the field, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, but he had 9 turnovers. Now, after the game, the coach did make sure he let everyone know that Jokic needs some help. Jokic needs help. He needs help. I mean, it's only right. He kind of alluded to that this the 25 points from the 25 points from Jamal Murray was probably fool's gold, having that nine turnovers. And Jamal Murray even alluded to it after the game. I think he probably felt the vibe that coach was kind of like throwing him under the bus, kind of. So he did mention, I put this one on me, Jamal Murray says, I'm not sure if I ever had 9 turnovers in a game. I could have sworn I gave a quote last game that he's not sure that he was 4 for 17 from the field at all this time he was shooting basketball or something of that nature. I mean, I just don't think he's sure of anything at this point, to be honest with you. The Nuggets bench is what I am sure of. They're pretty trash without all these guys out. To go into the details here as well, and I'm sorry for not mentioning here, this was a game that they played today without Paul Millsap. They played without Gary Harris. They played without Monte Morris, who's been shooting really good from three. And they also played without their playmaker and creating space general Will Barton, Will the Thrill Barton. They played without these guys, so it kind of did show. Their bench definitely showed that. Their bench only scored 14 points today against this Boston Celtics team, along with there only being 3 Denver Nuggets players that scored over double digits. One of them being Jamal Murray. Obviously, it was Jokic at 43 points, and then there was the first career starter, Facu Campazzo, who got his first career start. He did throw a crazy pass to a corner three that went right past Kyle Kuzma. Just neither here nor there, but that was kind of cool. But he started today, had double digit points. Can't really say anything bad about him. He did show up today. Other than that, no one was to be found, including it seemed like Michael Porter Jr. was out as well. He was 0 for 8 for the field today. Not good production from him. The Nuggets they're kind of so-so. They're kind of so-so. This is a team that I don't feel like I should have a lot of confidence in. Even though they did win their last 3 games before losing tonight, it doesn't seem like we should have any confidence for this team because they're not showing up to their potential. You are seeing Nikola Vucevic. I'm sorry, Vucevic. You're seeing Jokic balling out. You're seeing Jokic ball out. But other than that, you're getting so games from Murray. Either he's scoring or he's throwing over the ball, or he's not scoring and he's keeping up with the ball. He's just kind of iffy, in my opinion. And having this bench, I mean, JaMychal Green and Michael Porter Jr., only those guys only were able to conjure up two field goal makes today. I'm sorry, one field goal make today and 2 points. Not good at all. Michael Porter Jr. Exactly for him. I seen him miss two tip in ducks today that were terrible. It just doesn't seem like this team is something that you could back long term. Now go again to this Washington Wizards team. Washington Wizards, they're coming off two consecutive wins on back-to-back nights. One of those is against this Boston team that just lost to Denver. I mean, that just beat Denver, and that was and another one was an emotional win against John Wall's Houston Rockets, where they won 131 to 119. And those last two games, Mo Wagner has been the starting center. It seemed like once Thomas Bryant was out, they kind of weren't having a full, consistent big man. They changed their lineup for the Wizards 17 times, so this was their 17th time that they changed their lineup. And in those two games, Mo has played pretty well. 26 points combined, 58% from the field, 40% from three. Now that is a lot better than Robin Lopez. So what I was going to say is that they've been throwing in Robin Lopez since Thomas Bryant was injured. And honestly, having Mo Wagner in there seems like it won't hurt him long term. So you got to keep that guy in there. Bill appreciates it. I mean, appreciates it. Haven't really heard any quotes for Westbrook, but we know how Westbrook is. If he gets his triple double, he's happy, which he did actually, I believe, last game. Bill's going to continue to scorch. Bradley Bill's going to continue to scorch. He's leading the league in NBA votes from a backcourt on the East. He's pretty much locked in as an All Star here, and he's pretty much scorching these last 7 games, scoring. I'm sorry, 28 points per game, 44% from the field on the last 7 games. Also in that span, the Wizards are number one in pace at 104 possessions and number seventh in defensive rating, and dead last, kind of weirdly, in effective field goal percentage. Now, that being said, I'm going to have to go back into what we've been seeing so far from these two teams. Now, you're going to say that, hey, the Denver Nuggets have been putting in a little bit more points at 117 points per game, but this was stats that were coming in before they only scored 98 points today. So I kind of would say that they're not that far as plus 9 points per game against this Wizards team. The Wizards, the last 3 games, have scored 108 points per game. They allowed 106 points per game to opponents while shooting 29% from three, 48% effective field goal percentage. That is a difference between this Denver Nuggets team. They're at 59% effective field goal percentage, which is 11% difference. It's a lot of points difference. And 36% from three at a 7 point advantage there compared to this team and the Washington Wizards. I'm looking at this Wizards team to not score as many points, though. I'm thinking that this total is going to be around 234, 235 in that range, because we obviously know that even though that the Washington Wizards have been having a 7, I don't think a lot of people know that they've been number 7 in defensive rating the last 7 games, but we do know that they're number 1 in pace. They like to go up and down the court. We do also know that this Denver team, they like to go overtime. They're probably slower in pace than what they've shown and what the numbers tell, but they continue to go over their totals. And a lot of that has to do with them kind of shooting lights out at times. Sometimes they don't. I don't think that they're going to shoot lights out against this team. 6 of the last 8 meetings for these two guys have been under, and 6 of the last 8 meetings as well, the Wizards have covered. Now, I'm looking at this as a totals perspective. I'm going to go under 230. Anything under 200, 234 under. I would go even under 226 in this spot. That's where I had this total. I had this total at 222. So if you're getting under like 226, anything around there, I'm going to go under. But I'm going to make I'm going to make the Magic. I'm sorry. I'm going to make the Denver Nuggets the official play here. A lot of that has to do with them coming off of a loss. It's a small sample size, They only won 6 of the last 11 games off of a loss, so they haven't been doing that much well. But this Wizards team just gives up the goods. They're gonna give up a great game. They're gonna give up a great game. Jokic is gonna continue to do great. I believe that they're gonna see other guys come back. Now, I'm looking for Gary Harris to possibly come back. Now, if he comes back, I'm going to be all the way on this under. I'm thinking that we're going to see around 234. I'm going to continue to try to refresh here. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking to get this Denver Nuggets Wizards under. Again, I'm looking to go all the way up under. I have it at 222. I said at 222. I would go all the way under 226. So I'm thinking about going under this total here. And for now, I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets here. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets minus 3.5. I think that's a good spot. You're going to get them off of a loss. They're playing against a team that feel good about themselves. I think Gary Harris will play. The way I'm seeing him at shoot around, he does seem like he could be picking it back up, could make his way in. He is listed questionable along with Monte Morris and Paul Millsap. Those guys being added into this lineup is going to affect this spread. I think 3.5 is a good number to take on right now. I'm going to take the 3.5 with Denver Nuggets. I just like this spot for them off of a loss, going against a Washington team that feels good about themselves, have been playing really well lately, but I just believe that the efficiency will come back to bite Washington, and a lot of that has to do with the just having Westbrook at the helm. It may not be long term effective for these guys, so I'm going to go ahead and fade them here. Even though the under kind of would lean towards the Washington Wizards side, I do like the under a little bit more, but we haven't got the total yet. So right now, for the most part, I'm going to take the 3.5 Denver Nuggets. That's my official pick for this one here. And to be honest, when I set this line, I had 234. It's what I believe that they were going to set this number, and I had it at +6 for the Washington Wizards. So I believe that Denver Nuggets are getting a discount here because they've been playing really well. I mean, pretty bad, and they just off of a loss, along with the Washington Wizards been off of two consecutive wins, and that may be giving us some there. I don't think that 3.5 is we're going to see that once time comes. And also, Ish Smith is considered questionable. I don't believe he will play in this game as well. So that's another indication there that probably something that they fail to do later on down the line as far as ball distribution, because he hasn't really Ish Smith, for example, he hasn't been one of those guys that's given them a lot of production on points wise, but he had been distributing the ball. A great guy to come in after Westbrook's eats up all the stats there. Now,